Yo, we're going back to the start of the story. The very first page where God shows his glory. Open up the Bible, book number 1, Genesis, let's go, everybody have fun! In the beginning God made the earth. Light came first and he gave it worth. Day by day he spoke things through. Made the sky, land, and ocean blue. Sun, moon, stars in the sky so high. Birds that soar and fish that fly. Animals walking all over the place. Then God made Adam in his own grace. God is so fresh, everything new. Adam and Eve with a job to do. God said, live free, enjoy this land. Just one tree, don't touch that, understand. But a sneaky snake came slithering through. Told them lies that just weren't true. They ate the fruit, uh-oh, big fall. Sin came in and affected us all. People got wild and the world got bad. Made God's heart hurt, made God's heart sad. But Noah walked right, stayed faithful and true. So God said, build a boat, here's what we'll do. Animals 2 by 2, rain came down. 40 long days, water all around. But God kept his promise with a rainbow sign. Said, I'm with you always, my love is divine. Next up, Abram, God changed his name. Abraham now, faith in the flame. God said, count stars if you think you can. That's how big your family's plan. A great big nation from one old man. God kept his word, that's always the plan. Isaac born like God said before. Blessings on blessings and God gave more. Joseph had dreams that made bros mad. Sold him away, man, that's so sad. But God had a plan in every step. Even when Joseph felt alone, felt kept. From prison to palace, God raised him up. Second in command, yeah, God filled his cup. He forgave his brothers and saved the land. Genesis ends with God's great hand. Genesis. Genesis shows God's power the best. From creation to Joseph, his love don't stop. That's the very first book, now let's make it pop. Genesis. Genesis shows God's plan progress. Kids stand up, let the truth be known. The Bible starts here, this is God's zone. This is God's zone. This is God's zone. Exodus, yeah, it's time to know. Second book in the Bible, watch the story grow. Moses in the desert saying, let my people go. God's power on display, yeah, he steals the show. Egypt got God's people living hurt and stress. Pharaoh got them working, man, they never get rest. But God heard the cry, said I'm sending the man. Baby in the basket, yeah, that's part of the plan. Moses grows up in the palace spot. Runs to the desert when things get hot. But God shows up in the bush that glows. Says go back to Egypt, tell Pharaoh let him go. Exodus, yeah, it's time to know. Second book in the Bible, watch the story grow. Moses in the desert saying let my people go. God's power on display, yeah, he steals the show. Pharaoh said no, but God said watch. 10 big plagues make the whole land stop. Water turned to blood, frogs on the scene. Hail from the sky, yeah, you know what I mean. Darkness falls, but the final blow. Angel passes through, now Pharaoh knows. God's people packed up, they're ready to roll. Freedom in their hearts, God's in control. Exodus, yeah, it's time to know. Second book in the Bible, watch the story grow. Moses in the desert saying, let my people go. God's power on display, yeah, he steals the show. Exodus, yeah, it's time to know. Second book in the Bible, watch the story grow. Moses in the desert saying, let my people go. God's power on display, yeah, he steals the show. They reach the Red Sea, Pharaoh comes back. Army on the move like they're ready to attack. But God is the God, so Moses stands bold. Parts that sea, yeah, the story unfolds. Walls of water stand left and right. God's kids walk through on dry ground tonight. Egypt tries to follow, but the waves come down. God saves his people, where's the victory crown? Exodus, yeah, it's time to know. Second book in the Bible, watch the story grow. Moses in the desert saying, let my people go. God's power on display, yeah, he steals the show. 10 commandments in God's presence. Up Mount Sinai, Moses climbs high. Thunder in the clouds and fire in the sky. God writes laws on the stone, 10 commandments. Teaching how to live with love and advancement. They build a tent called the tabernacle. God stays close, nothing can tackle. The love he shows, the way he guides. Exodus prove God stays by your side. Exodus, now you really know. Second book in the Bible, see the story grow. Moses leading strong, saying let my people go. from Egypt to Sinai, God runs the show. Exodus, yeah, it's time to know. Second book in the Bible, watch the story grow. Moses in the desert saying, let my people go. God's power on display, yeah, he steals the show. Yeah! Book number 3, let's go!
Let's go!
Genesis,
Exodus,
now we hit Leviticus. Leviticus.
Woo!
Yeah. Leviticus is all about how to live right. God gave his people rules shining like a light. Holy living, clean hearts walking in his way, showing Israel how to follow God every day. Sacrifices taught them how to deal with sin.
Priests
in the tabernacle helping them begin. Offerings, feasts, and the ways to restore. God saying, be holy like me forevermore.
Leviticus, laws of love, that's the code. Helping God's people walk the narrow road. Clean hands, clean heart, living set apart. God teaching holiness right from the start.
Chapters 1 to 7, offerings boom. Burnt grain, peace in, filling up the room.
Whoa.
Priests get trained, Aaron takes the lead, serving God's people with wisdom they need. Then God says,
Love your neighbor as yourself.
that's Leviticus 19, truth for your shelf. God's people learning how to treat each other right, walking in compassion, bringing darkness into light.
The laws of love, that's the code. Helping God's people walk the narrow road. Clean hands, clean heart, living set apart. God teaching holiness right from the start.
Not just rules,
God's love in action.
showing his people how to avoid distraction.
Be holy, be pure, stay close, stay true.
Leviticus teaching what God can do.
Woo! Leviticus, laws of love, that's the code. Helping God's people walk the narrow road. Clean hands, clean heart, living set apart. God teaching holiness right from the start.
That's book 3.
Yeah!
We're moving quick.
Quick spot.
Leviticus, truth that really sticks. Next up, number.
Don't miss that beat.
Keep learning God's word. Bible rap complete.
Woo!
Yo, we did Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus 2. Now it's time for Numbers, let me tell it to you. Fourth book of the Bible, let the story unfold. Israel on the journey with a promise to hold. Book of Numbers, yeah, they had to count the crew. Every single tribe, every family too. A census of the people lining up in rows. God was showing Israel everywhere he goes. 12 tribes deep, marching out in unity. Cloud by day, fire night, God's the one they see. Packed up the camp when the signal comes along. When God moves forward, the whole nation moves on. Numbers, the journey was long, but God stayed faithful and kept them strong. Numbers, even when they failed, God stayed with them, his promise never failed. But in the wilderness, things got rough. People started grumbling, said the walk was tough. Complaining about food, couldn't see the blessing. Forgetting God was with them while they kept stressing. Spies went out to explore the land. Came back scared, we don't think we can. Except for Joshua and Caleb who stood on truth. God is with us all, he'll carry us through. Numbers, the journey was long, but God stayed faithful and kept them strong. Numbers, even when they failed, God stayed with them, his promise never failed. 40 years walking, learning day by day. God was teaching trust in every single way. Even when they messed up, turned their hearts aside, God kept leading forward, never left their side. So a new generation rose to stand, ready to cross into the promised land. Moses taught the people what God had said, prepared them for the future and the life ahead. Number shows the journey, the ups and downs, faith through the desert, hope all around. God stays faithful, he never quits. That's the message of Numbers. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Numbers, the journey was long, but God stayed faithful and kept them strong. Numbers, even when they failed, God stayed with them, his promise never failed.
Numbers, a story we can learn. Trust God fully, watch blessing return.
Numbers,
Gather round, Israel come near. Moses got a message you really gotta hear. It's the last big speech before the next chapter starts. Deuteronomy drops wisdom that hits your heart.
Deuteronomy, Moses stands tall before the promised land. He's talking to them all. 40 years past, lessons learned on the way. Now Moses breaks it down so they don't go astray.
He says, Israel, listen, hear the Lord's call.
Love God first, he's the greatest of all.
Follow his commands, walk the right path. Choose life, choose blessing, keep his way fast.
T-E-U-T-E
power with the mighty hand. Says, teach your children, talk day and night. Put God's word first and you'll live in the light. He warns them real clear.
Don't forget his love.
Don't chase sides.